More than a decade after my mom told me I was unwanted, she appeared at my doorstep. I haven't talked to my mom for so many years. I cut off all contact with her. Maybe because I despised her after what she said to me, which to this day was the most hurtful thing anyone has ever said to me. I wasn't perfect as a child. I know that myself. I was 14 at the time and going through puberty, and me and my sister used to argue every now and then. We threw all sorts of things at each other, especially when our mom wasn't around. But we both knew we weren't being serious. I told my sister back then that she wasn't wanted. She was just a burden for our mom. She grinned maliciously and was about to reply, according to the look on her face, probably with a verbal counter, when my mom came round the corner and shouted at me why I would say something like that to my sister. I tried to explain to her that I wasn't being serious, but she wouldn't let me finish and told me that I was actually the one she didn't want, the one she never wanted, and that my sister, unlike me, was a wanted child. That moment felt like the worst slap in the face. I just stayed calm and looked her in the eye. She went out in a rage and comforted my sister, even though she wasn't hurt at all. They went downstairs and I started to cry. That same night, I called my father, who came to pick me up secretly. My parents were separated, but my dad could always see us at the weekends. I told him what had happened and we decided that I would stay with him. There was a custody agreement. But as I was now at an age where I could decide where I wanted to live, my father could at least challenge it for me. My mom called me a few times and texted me apologies, but my eyes got watery every time I saw her, so I blocked her number. My father told her that I didn't want to see her anymore. She wanted to apologize according to him because my sister had told her that my insult against her was not serious and she knew that. But I was no longer interested. If she didn't want me, then so be it. As a result, I grew up with my father and my sister continued to visit us every weekend. She also apologized to me and told me she didn't want it to come to that. I still don't have a problem with my sister today. I would like to mention this much. We are still in contact and love each other. My mom tried to turn up at my dad's a few times to talk to me or to intercept me on the way to school, but I knew how to avoid her. The first few nights were painful for me because I kept recalling her words in my mind. I know some may think my reaction was over the top, but how was I supposed to feel safe and secure with a parent when I knew I wasn't wanted there? But I think it will jump to today. I no longer live with my father, but have my own house. I've been working as a civil servant in the local government of the city since I finished my studies and earn good money. A few days ago, my mom suddenly turned up at my door. I hardly recognized her. When I opened the door and this crying woman stood in front of me and hugged me, it felt like a stranger was hugging me. But then I realized relatively quickly who was standing in front of me. She almost couldn't get a word out under the whining, and I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do and didn't want the neighbors to see this, so I brought her into the house and asked her what she was doing here. When she slowly stopped crying, she finally got a few sentences out, and I thought someone important had died or something. She told me she was terribly sorry for what she had said. She had been feeling guilty ever since and couldn't stop thinking about me. I didn't really feel any emotions during that time. That's why it was easy for me to say openly that I only gave her what she wanted. If she didn't want me, she shouldn't be obliged to bring me up. But that in return, I expected her to not remind me of this hurtful moment by calling me or trying to contact me in any way. When I said that, she started crying again. She told me I had just misunderstood her. I was actually wanted and she only said it out of anger but didn't mean it. I didn't answer to that and just asked her what she wanted here. She said she finally wanted to apologize sincerely and that she hoped I could forgive her because she wanted to be part of my life again. I told her I would think about it. She was happy with that and asked me for my mobile phone number. She admitted to demanding it from my sister, but she refused to give her my mobile number and said she would only give it to her if I agreed. I told her I would take her number, but didn't necessarily want to give her mine. I don't know what I should do. What she said back then hurt me deeply and destroyed our relationship. After all these years, I feel like I overreacted and everyone deserves a second chance. But maybe it would be better if someone looked at the situation from a neutral position. That's why I'm here.